Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Sahara Omar. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist practicing here in the state of Texas. And today's video, I wanted to share with you guys a little bit more on what are negative core beliefs, and also link it back to where it comes from. And towards the end of the video, I'll share with you guys how do you truly overcome and heal from these core beliefs as well. Okay. When we think of negative core beliefs, first, I want you guys to envision it as a long-standing, deep-rooted beliefs around who we are, right? Or perspectives that we have of ourselves, okay? These come at the core from our childhood, but first I wanted to share with you guys what would be a couple of examples. The common ones that I see in practice in my work with my clients are unworthy. Unworthy, it's rooted in a sense of like, I don't deserve more in life. I don't deserve success, for example. I don't deserve just to do better in life. I don't deserve growth and all the positive experiences that are coming my way. People who tend to self-sabotage, their core belief is this sense of I don't deserve, I'm not worthy of this, okay? Unlovable is a common one also I see. Unlovable is the sense of I'm the problem at the core, meaning like I don't deserve people loving on me, I don't deserve love, I don't deserve peace. The existence of at the core of just being within ourselves is the lack of love, right? So when we have unlovable core belief, we typically either try to work so hard to prove to other people that we are worthy of love and not know how to love on ourselves, like spending time alone, doing things that you really care for. Another common one I see is unsafe. When we have core belief of unsafe, typically we either hurt ourselves by putting ourselves in predicaments where people can take advantage of us or hurt us, or we operate in this space of like hypervigilance as well too, where we are constantly trying to become safe. The unsafe piece is when people cross our boundaries growing up or hurt us physically or emotionally or even sexually as well too. Another common core belief I see is unwanted, right? Like I just don't, typically people who have this core belief show up like I just don't feel like people care about me, or I'm unseen, or I'm not included in things. When we feel like people are excluding us on purpose, for example, or being chosen in romantic relationships, there is usually this core belief of unwanted. Like I feel like people don't want me, or I don't want to be included into things because I just feel at the core unwanted, right? And then the last common one I see is not good enough, right? People who carry this not good enough constantly either lean into overperformance, like trying to make things happen all the time just so they can feel that they are worthy, that they are good enough. That part is also coming from not having a parents who told us that we're good enough, so then we show up wanting to feel like we're good enough all the time, okay? So the actions, right, like the way people show up based on these core beliefs can vary. Some people lean into proving people wrong based on these core beliefs, and some people lean away from these core beliefs in the sense of like their actions kind of lean away from proving people wrong as well too, right? So the two ends of the spectrums, I think I mentioned to you guys before, are always considered dysfunctional, and the goal is to be in the middle as soon as possible, okay? I do want to link this back to scripture just for a second as well too. If you're a believer, Christ in the New Testament continuously used the concept of seeing life as soil, right? Good soil. I think he mentioned it in almost a lot of his parables, to view ourselves as like the soil, right? So whatever seed that you plant in the soil, it's the fruit at the end. That's the action that we gain out of it, right? So these core beliefs are rooted so deeply in who we are, because where it comes from is from our childhood, right? So people who were lucky enough, who had healthy parents, who didn't get exposed to a lot of traumas, do not have these negative traits, right? Like these negative core beliefs, right? They truly operate from a place of I am worthy, I am lovable, I am safe, I am wanted, I am good enough, right? And they show up that way too. They're very confident, they're trustworthy within themselves, they trust the world, they feel safe, right? They're very confident as well too. But people who didn't typically show up the opposite of that, right? Either very insecure, constantly seeking validation, for example, or working so hard just to be recognized, not knowing how to rest and slow down and feel safe within ourselves, and not spending time alone to do things that we like to do as well too, right? All of that goes back down to these core beliefs. Majority of our culture here in the States, people fight to just replace it, right? Like sometimes people say, do these superficial work of like affirmations, right? Like just affirm yourself, just do the affirmations, right? Every client that I have who've been told to do that and they do that, the common theme that they share with me is, Dr. Omar, it doesn't work. Why is it not sticking? And my answer is almost always, it doesn't stick because you have to uproot it and you have to hold the person who planted these seeds accountable, right? The brain is, the way it functions is it wants accountability. If you do not hold people accountable, you cannot just superficially gaslight yourself into giving yourself what was missing, right? So this is where I highly recommend sit down with a therapist, specifically a trauma-informed therapist, so that way you can understand what are the core beliefs that you have and where does it come from. Until we do that kind of work where we hold people accountable and we say, Mom taught me that I'm not good enough because she did X, Y, and Z, right? Or Dad constantly was never affirming and that taught me to be unlovable because he was absent, right? That story piece has to make sense for us to switch the seeds, and eventually you can plant good seeds where you can affirm yourself, and then now the seeds kind of grow and that becomes the new reality for ourselves. But most people want to just plant good seed without uprooting the old seeds, and unfortunately it's just, that's not how it works. Okay, so this is deep work. You do want to sit with somebody. It does take time. Like I think I mentioned to you guys before, on average it does take a couple of years before you can uproot and create a new foundation for yourselves. And the challenge also is you have to assess within your life the people who planted these seeds. How connected are you with them as well too? Sometimes just learning how to set boundaries with people who planted these seeds will help you uproot these seeds correctly as well too, right? So meaning if you're very connected to your mom or your dad, taking a step back without cutting them off emotionally will help you assess the dynamic correctly, so that way you can now get to a place where you can trust yourself and eventually you'll show up in a healthy way as well. Okay, I hope you guys liked the video. Feel free to hit that thumbs up, like the video. It really helps with the algorithm. Feel free also to share this video with others and leave me a comment on what are some negative core beliefs that you are overcoming and have you been successful at it as well. Alrighty, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.